According to a 2013 study by SHRM, miscommunication costs the average U.S. organization between $4,000 and $6,000 per employee per year. Ouch! Today, we're going to share one powerful communication tool that can help you limit your own miscommunications and, when generously applied, can help your team reduce mistakes, build trust, and become better problem solvers, salespeople, and leaders. This week, live at the gym. So imagine this, you're on a long drive to a family reunion in Boston. You left your home in Pittsburgh and you're on your way, car full of folks. But an hour into your trip, you get a flat tire. A friendly mechanic shows up to help you solve your problem. And after just a few minutes, he has you back up and running. You pay him his fee and you're ready to hit the road. Back on the road, west towards Boston. But wait, west towards Boston? What you and your mechanic failed to realize was that you had originally entered the wrong address in your GPS and you were headed in completely the wrong direction. With a few simple questions, your friendly neighborhood mechanic could have saved you a lot of time and trouble. He had simply focused on a single transaction, and even though he solved the presenting problem, he missed a huge opportunity to provide a much greater value for you and your family with a few well-placed questions. My question to you is, are you in the business of only solving your client's most presenting problem, or are you in the business of establishing a relationship with them so that they can avoid potential problems down the road? No pun intended, although pun intended. So today's lesson is about something we call the 4 Ps, a communication tool that's a powerful framework that will help you to uncover and solve your prospects' most important problems, not just their presenting issues. It's a tool that can be used in many contexts in coaching and leadership and development, but for our conversation today, we're going to focus on selling and business development conversations and how we use the 4 Ps. So first of all, let's take Simon Sinek's counsel and start with why. Why is this tool important? Because you want to build context and a mutual understanding before you start solving problems. You want to give the other party an opportunity to be heard, but not only be heard, to feel understood, that they know that you understand what's happening. It also helps you to uncover second and third layer issues within the prospect's problems and within their solutions. We want to dig down deep to make sure that we understand not just what's happening on the surface, but also what's happening second and third layer below that. So we're going to ask a lot of questions. Also, if you can frame your solutions to fit the prospect's desired outcomes, using their words. Just imagine if you could communicate with your client in their words, in their language. Well, you can if you're willing to ask questions and stay out of the solutions until you're qualified, until you've gotten all of the answers that you're looking for from the 4 Ps. When do you use it? You use it before you propose any solutions. You use it before you brag about your company. You use it before you even decide if this is a potential client for you, because you want to have a strong understanding of the problem and their solution as you're going forward before you present your solutions. You might not be the right service provider for them. And too often we get into business relationships with people who aren't ideal clients for us. And as much as we want that new piece of business, sometimes we need to learn to walk away. And this tool is going to help you to do that. So what is it? Let's talk about the what. It's a simple framework called the 4 Ps. 4 Ps stand for problem, pain, pleasure, and personal. Problem and pain are on one side of the equation, what's happening right now, the brutal truth of what's happening, and where what is presenting to us for these challenges that we've got. The pleasure and the personal side are at the other side of the equation. Think of it this way. There is a deep cavern or fjord, and one side of it you've got the problem and the pain, and over here on the other side you've got the pleasure and the personal. Right? Your job as a business development or salesperson would be to build a bridge from point A to point B, from this side of the cavern to that side of the cavern. What most salespeople fail to do is to understand what this side of that cavern looks like, to ask enough questions to gain an understanding, so they build a bridge to nowhere. They may understand the problem, and then they go in and propose their solutions. What we want you to be able to do with the 4 Ps is to get really clear on problem and pain on this side, pleasure and personal on this side, And then you come in and you build a bridge to your clients, to your prospects' needs in their words and in their language. It's a very simple construct that actually comes out of the coaching world. But if you use it as a sales tool and a business development tool, it will help you dramatically in terms of solving the real issues that your clients are going after. So how do we use it? Well, we start with those 4 words: problem, pain, pleasure, and personal, not because they're necessarily the words that you have to use, but because they give you that framework. Understanding the first presenting problem that your prospect has, asking some other questions to get down to the pain, into the context of what's really going on. What other issues is it causing within the organization? How much is the problem costing you organizationally, culturally, and personally? You ask several questions to get down layers deep, and make sure you're reflecting back. We got a new term that came out this week called that I coined micro reflections. Micro reflections are simple reflections back, like, so just to be clear, you're saying that this is the issue. So I want to understand, so let me reflect back. Giving small doses of reflection until you get a real clear picture of what's happening on that side of the equation. Then before, and this is where most people get stuck with business development, they understand the problem and they want to start presenting solutions. They want to start putting out how their company can help, how they can help. And that's where the problems begin, right? That's where the challenges begin, because we want to, before we jump into that, we move into the pleasure and the personal. What does it look like once this problem is solved for you? What are your expected outcomes from this engagement that we could partake in? What does it look like after the fact? And then what will that mean to your organization? How much will you save? How much money will you be able to make? How will you limit those costs? So getting a clear picture and reflecting back the problem side and the pleasure side then puts you in a position to build that bridge from where the prospect is to where the prospect wants to go, not where you want to go or not where you think they want to go, but to where they want to go. The end game here is that you reflect back the 4 Ps to your prospect without validation or criticism before you jump into any solutions that you'd be proposing. It's easier said than done because we've got that need and desire to get in and solve those problems. So it takes practice. It takes development. You want to also make sure that you use their words, especially their emotional context and emotional terms that they share, until you get to the point where they say, that's exactly right. You understand our situation and you also understand what we're looking at. Then you're qualified to get there. Now you're ready to present and propose solutions. That's the key to using the 4 Ps, is staying out of the solution until we have an understanding of both sides of that equation. So let's talk about how you implement this tool. This is one that takes practice, by the way, especially in today's busy world. But how you implement that tool. Start by doing some low stakes practice. When one of your employees or someone you work with comes to you with a problem, work on this exercise. What problem are you having? What pain is it causing you? What pleasure will it be to alleviate that problem? What will that mean to you personally once that problem is alleviated? Notice I didn't propose any solutions or that I might be the person to solve the problem. I've just got that framework there. So practice using that in some low stakes situations. Second tip, take a Post-it note and put up those 4 words up on your computer so that you get into building that skill and asking those questions. Practice several times a day. Make it a focus of your practice to build this skill so that you stay into the problem and into the 4 Ps before you're proposing solutions in almost any situation. And this is one where you really have to practice until you've built the discipline. It takes a tremendous amount of work to get there. It's a skill that you can learn easily and become consciously competent at right away. But then after practice and continuing to develop it, you can become unconsciously competent, which puts you in a powerful situation. That's your tip for how you get started on it. Another way would be to join a professional practice group, but we'll save that for another time. We certainly appreciate you being here on live at the gym. I want to thank you for joining us today, and I want to thank you for your commitment to becoming a better communicator. We are here to support you in that effort in any way that we can. Our goal is to inspire you to practice your communication skills so that you can continually improve the quality of your life. Be sure to grab the playbook page from the TCG playbook down below here in the comments. And we look forward to seeing you next week at the gym. Thank you.